Today, I want to talk about mastering your emotions. As we go through this process of mastery and mastering our world, one of the areas that is important for us to have a handle on is our emotions. It is quite natural for us to have emotional responses to things that occur in our life, such as the loss of a loved one, such as, disagreements and things happening and in our life that we didn't anticipate, that we didn't expect, or, things that happen that are triggers for that push us back into a space in life, a space in time that we once visited before. And so mastering our emotions can be a very difficult thing because we are emotional creatures. We are creatures who respond to situations emotionally. The challenge comes in when our emotions master us and we don't master our emotions. Whenever things happen, it's important for us to not be reactive, but to be responsive. How do we respond in situations versus how we react in situations? Typically, a reaction is a result of not being prepared or not thinking through our response to situations and circumstances. And let's be honest, there are just some things that we just cannot control what our emotion will be. We can't control what our response will be. If we could control every response to every situation, that would make us inhumane, really. We would be people that are not truly human in nature. And so when we start to talk about the issue of emotions and mastering our emotions, it's so important for us to look at specific instances where being in control and being in a place where we respond and not react is more important. For example, when we start to look at situations where we get into a disagreement or we get into a space with someone emotionally that is uncomfortable for us, or something happens as a trigger to our past, one of the things we have to learn how to do is do some soul searching. Many times we don't search the core of our soul to find out, why am I reacting to this situation the way that I am? Why am I getting angry about this? Or why am I in a space where I am becoming distant from people? Or I'm finding myself being creating this space of isolation where I don't want to deal with or interact with people because something has happened to trigger an emotion that I feel uncomfortable or I feel unable to navigate through. And so when we start talking about mastering the emotional component to our life and the emotional response or reaction to things, we're talking about being in a space where we think through things before we respond. Sometimes it takes a moment to step away from a situation, step away from a circumstance so that we can clearly think through the process before we give a response or before we react. So when we start talking about this whole idea of mastering your emotions, what we're talking about is identifying triggers, identifying areas of vulnerability and weakness where we are susceptible to respond or react in the situation in a way that is immature or in a way that is detrimental to the other person's experience or causes someone else to be triggered in a way that is not healthy. It is healthy for us to be in a place where we learn how to respond, where we learn how to think through the process, think through what we're experiencing, talk through what we're experiencing, and come to a place where we respond in a way that is healthy for both ourselves and the other individuals involved with the situation. And so I want to give you a couple of things that I think are important for you as it relates to being in a space of responding and not reacting and mastering our emotional realm. Number one, think through the process before you respond. Think through the process. Think through what's happening. Talk through what's happening before you are so quick to respond or to make a call to make a statement or say something or do something that is totally out of character and has the capacity to throw someone else in a very difficult emotional place. The second thing I want to say is don't distance yourself or pull yourself into a place of isolation because something has triggered you or something has happened to move you in this space. Be intentional about getting around people and talking through with trusted individuals what you're experiencing, what you're seeing, what you're feeling, so that you can come to a place of having a balanced perspective and be able to respond appropriately. And the last thing I want to share is that it's important for us as it relates to our emotions, it is important for us to know ourselves and know what triggers us or pushes us into places of depression, into places of isolation, into places of seclusion, pushes us into places where we feel like we are overwhelmed with depression or overwhelmed with anxiety or overwhelmed with anger. We want to know what those triggers are and what is it about our experience, and communicate with those that we have relationship with those those in our family, those who are our friends, so that when we start acting in a way that is uncharacteristic of who we are, it won't throw the other person off, and they'll understand exactly what we're experiencing and be able to walk us through and help us through and journey with us through the process to getting to a place of being able to master getting over and dealing with those emotions in a healthy space and in a healthy way. Well, today I just want to talk to you about mastering your emotions, and I hope that this has helped you. Continue to go through our blogs and go through our teaching and our trainings and all of our videos to share that as we share with you some things that can help you in your family, in your faith, and in your finances. Thank you so much.